Welcome back, you spicy little caffeinators, to another morning coffee break, where the espresso's hot, the clues are hotter, and nobody's slept since Golden Greed dropped. Now let me ask you, did you come here for treasure talk or a breakdown of the world's most suspicious mugs? Because today, we're talking Netflix mugs. Two of them. Two mugs, two drinks, two potential rabbit holes. Let's go. So here's the theory. Justin mentions lemonade, tea, and coffee in the book. What if the two mugs in the documentary point us back to those drink references? Two drinks, two clues, maybe even two solves? There's a line in the book, chapter The Treasure Trail. Morning tea had whispered, a line many people passed over, but some of you brilliant weirdos, and I say that lovingly, are now circling it like it's a GPS coordinate. Is the Netflix mug moment referencing that chapter? But hold on, the mugs aren't alone. A Christmas tree mug, a VW Beetle, a clock and a cube. Cue the connection fest. Rocky Mountain Beetles frozen in time. Christmas tree delivered from the Northern Rockies. Suddenly we're in the Gracie Grail and Fitzwater chapters. Snow, Beetles, trees, nostalgia. And now I can't stop seeing the Rockies everywhere. Are the mugs pointing to coffee or to Macatempus? Yes, someone ran EPM Ketmasu from the acknowledgements page through an Esperanto anagram solver and got Macatempus. Maca, the ginseng-style energy root from Mexico, used to make tea. Tempus equals time. Final answer? Tea time, as in TT Ranch, as in two teacups, as in what are we even doing anymore? And listen, some people say, it's just a mug. Others, no, it's his dad's ritual, drinking coffee and watching birds in the morning. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's a camera guy who needed caffeine and set his mug down in the frame like a boss. Then someone noticed there are two gas cans on Justin's truck. Two mugs. Two containers. Is this a duality clue? Is he telling us to double up our thinking? Two paths, two timelines? Two versions of the solve? Or maybe, just maybe, the handles on the mugs point to something. One Redditor suggested, when the second mug is there, it points at Justin. Maybe it's saying, listen to me now. The other mug points to the clues. I've watched this scene more times than I care to admit. I've looked at it upside down. I've zoomed in on reflections in the mug glaze. I've questioned my own grip on reality. But here's the truth. Something about those mugs lingers. Whether they're memory markers, literary echoes, or just props, they've got us all thinking. And if that's not the mark of a good clue, I don't know what is. What's especially fascinating, and often overlooked, is that Golden Greed was originally intended to stand on its own. No book, no elaborate backstory, just the film, the poem, and the embedded clues. That's huge. It means every frame of Golden Greed was once designed to contain enough substance to lead to a solve. So when we see those two mugs, the gas cans, the tree mug, the bird references, the clock in a cube, or even that seemingly random Raspberry Pi on Justin's desk, we can't dismiss them as just set dressing. They may have been part of the original blueprint. Before Beyond the Map's Edge added all the layered memory, emotion, and thematic symbolism, these visual breadcrumbs were the foundation. That brings us full circle. If you stripped everything back to just Golden Greed, would those mugs and the references to coffee, tea, and lemonade be enough to point you toward TT Ranch, or to time, or to twin solutions? That's the question, and it's worth asking because it reframes the mugs not as supporting props from the book, but as potential primary clues in the very first iteration of this entire hunt. As we sip deeper, the mugs take us beyond the studio set and into the vast landscapes of Montana and Wyoming. Think about your favorite mountain lodge, steaming tea overlooking Bighorn Country, cozy sips near Wind River in Wyoming, even late-night coffee by the campfire along Glacier National Park's shores. Could Justin have mirrored those real-world settings in the mugs we see? Tea near Wisdom, Montana, coffee beside the Wind River Range, lemonade by the Yellowstone Lake West Thumb. Each beverage could be tied to a specific place in memory, One of you even mentioned the raspberry pie, maybe hinting at Grasshopper Creek and a drinkable pun. And the mugs themselves, ceramic or paper, double handles, big or small, may represent specific lodges or campsites Justin visited on his treasure routes. If Golden Greed truly stood alone, mapping these drink references onto real, drinkable locations, a tea cabin in the Lolo National Forest, a coffee stop by Red Lodge, WI, isn't just fanciful. It might be exactly the kind of ground-level, sip-fueled breadcrumb trail he wanted us to follow all along. And here's where it gets wild. The Starbucks Siren. That green goddess on every coffee cup isn't just a logo. She's a literal siren, a mythological symbol, a songstress from the sea who lured sailors off their maps and into mystery. Sound familiar? Beyond the map's edge, anyone? If Justin is referencing a siren song in the book, and many believe he is, it might not be purely poetic. It could be commercial, even visual. The Starbucks siren is one of the most recognizable symbols on Earth, tied to coffee, maps, journeys, and modern-day rituals. Pair that with the book's references to lemonade, tea, and coffee, and we suddenly have a triangulated beverage cipher. Now let's put it back on the map. There are Starbucks locations all across Montana and Wyoming, but only a few in remote scenic areas that align with themes from the book. Places like Bozeman, Montana, the Jackson Hole area, Red Lodge, or West Yellowstone, all rich with national park energy, forest trails, and beyond the map vibes. Could the mugs in the documentary be pointing us to a literal siren stop? A rest station where Justin once sipped and thought? Maybe the siren song isn't a metaphor, but a branded clue hiding in plain sight, disguised as your daily coffee run. In that light, the two mugs could represent a duet. Two songs, two voices, two routes converging at a midpoint, or diverging entirely. And what if tea time isn't about caffeine at all? What if it's about gold? See, in the world of British tradition, tea time historically aligned with wealth, leisure, and yes, golden hours. Afternoon tea wasn't just a drink, it was a ritual reserved for those who didn't have to work the mines. Because their wealth came from them, it's gold-coated language dressed up in porcelain. But now let's stir in that Arnold Palmer reference. What do you get when you mix tea and lemonade? An Arnold Palmer. And who was Arnold Palmer? A golfer, a legend, a man whose name is literally synonymous with mixing two things to make something greater. Back in the book, we've already seen references to lemonade and tea. That's not just a casual drink order, it might be a recipe, a layered metaphor. Two separate elements, tea and lemonade, that when combined become a named destination. So here's the riddle. If lemonade points to a golf course, which some hunters have already suggested, and tea references, time, rituals, or even TT Ranch, then maybe Arnold Palmer is a double clue. A person, a drink, a place, a golf course named for him or inspired by him. Now go hunting. Are there golf courses in Montana or Wyoming that nod to Palmer? Is there a Palmer Ranch, a tea time trail, or even just a course with dual nines that reflect the twin mugs we keep seeing? This could point us toward a duality clue, something where two seemingly unrelated ideas come together, much like tea and lemonade, to become exactly what we're thirsting for. Or maybe all these mugs, these swirling theories of tea, sirens, raspberry pie, and ginseng roots, maybe they all boil down to something much simpler, something rock solid. What if it all just points to Coffee Pot Rock? Yes, Coffee Pot Rock, the iconic sandstone formation in Sedona, Arizona, shaped unmistakably like an old stovetop percolator, a place of memory, mysticism, and panoramic red rock views. Justin has ties to the region, both in travel and in the broader mythology he loves to weave. Sedona is no stranger to energy vortexes, spiritual trails, and whispers of things hidden in plain sight. It's also a place where your morning cup might not just wake you up, it might guide you. Now think about the mugs again. The handles, the liquid references, the nods to coffee, tea, lemonade, and time. If you stripped away all the over-analysis, could the simplest answer be the best one? Two mugs, two handles, a rock shaped like a coffee pot, A place called Coffee Pot that rises up, just like the book tells us to look toward the North Star in turbulent sky. So maybe the mugs don't point us to caffeine or comfort. Maybe they point us to a place, to a rock, to a landmark that, like everything else in this hunt, is hiding in plain sight. So here we are, mug in hand, staring down the rabbit hole once again. Two mugs on a desk, a couple sips of lemonade, a whisper of tea. Is it just a cozy scene, or is it a coded message? Maybe it's pointing us to TT Ranch. Maybe it's a nod to Coffee Pot Rock. Maybe it's a mix of tea and lemonade, and Arnold Palmer quietly calling us toward a golf course. A name, or even a deeper metaphor. Two ingredients, one destination. And then there's tea time itself, a golden hour, a ritual of rest, or the ticking clock on a long-lost treasure. Whether you see a siren, a stovetop kettle, or a state line drawn in porcelain glaze, one thing's clear. Every sip in this story carries weight, so keep asking the weird questions. Keep looking at those mugs, those shadows, those background details that everyone else scrolls past. Because somewhere in this blend of lemon and leaf, of time and tea, of fact and fiction, the answer might be hiding, right there in plain sight. Until next time, stay curious, stay caffeinated, and don't forget to stir before sipping.